What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down 2.5%, and this is piggybacking off of yesterday's 8% pullback. So what's very odd about all of this is today there hasn't been any macro data points to really move the market, as well as no actual news associated to SoundHound. So no press releases, no SEC filings. If I didn't know any better, a short report was going to be coming out against SoundHound or either some negative ratings, but nothing has happened. So there's just a lot of very weird price action. Even looking at the secondary market, of the transactions that you do see, a lot of them are sells. So institutions are selling SoundHound again. For what reason? I'm not really sure. What is very unique about today though is that you're seeing more and more squeeze plays. So I think it's causing more of a domino effect on heavily shorted stocks, such as Kohl's. You see it up 30%. It did have a high of 21.28. And then of course you do have Opendoor. That one is a very hot one, went up like 100+% yesterday, not counting this pullback, but still nonetheless, a lot of heavily shorted stocks are moving higher. For whatever reason, SoundHound isn't grouped in that. And so as of right now, time of doing this video, shorts are increasing 887,000 shares. 32.73% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 118.23 million shares overall are being shorted. So despite tomorrow being a fairly big day for SoundHound, because of course they have that big presentation associated to Wall Street Journal, so essentially that should really drive up the stock price as speculation and FOMO kicks in, but you kind of have the opposite happening. You're having a sell-off, and some of that has to do with the technicals, but still 32% short interest, and it's not really being grouped into the squeeze mania or whatever the hell you want to call it that's happening yesterday and today is just very, very odd. Like I said, no news, no SEC filings, so maybe SoundHound's waiting on something, or maybe some institutions know something that the market doesn't know. So I don't know. What's your general thoughts on the recent price action? But coming from a macro standpoint, you did have Powell's speech early this morning, and there wasn't really as much drama as much as people were expecting. So at the end of the day, I think the market is finally ready to move higher. Just there's a certain level of hesitation. So even a lot of kind of squeeze plays are moving higher. There is a lower average volume across the board. So institutions are clearly just waiting for good data or good companies to unveil their earnings. So Wednesday is a big day for that. So we have Google, Tesla, and so forth. So maybe that's kind of why essentially you're seeing SoundHound go down, because at the same time, it is a momentum play. So you do need that constant level of capital to get in. If you kind of pull that, then you're kind of pulling the floor essentially with SoundHound. But aside from that, looking at the options, 2.3 million in calls, 445,000 in puts, 48% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. So big money is clearly anticipating a little bit more downside with SoundHound. As far as right now, from the bulls standpoint, you still do see a certain level of optimism for it to be kind of around that $12.50 to $13 range, and then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly 11. What's very odd is right here, so the week ending August 8th, that SoundHound will be sub 850. So that is very, very odd, and based on that amount, clearly that's big money. So big money is really anticipating SoundHound to get hit. Why? I'm not really sure. As far as this, I know there wasn't any official announcement yet, but the earnings is estimated to be August the 7th. So that would be encumbering within that same week. So maybe they are anticipating SoundHound to completely flop on their earnings. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But aside from all of that though, big money, like I mentioned, is selling SoundHound, both on the secondary market as well as dark pool. Dark pool is often enough used by shorts and other hedge funds, so not necessarily the best. But right now with it at 1140, it is trading currently between this R2 and this R1. So 1141 is going to be that key point that you really need to watch for SoundHound to close above if you're going to see any sort of recovery. So just watch for 1141. 1214 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Then flip side, 1096 is going to be the next strong support, followed by 1022. So this 1141, definitely watch for that. But at the same time, maybe that's why also shorts are increasing, just to kind of break it on a technical standpoint. So just watch for, again, moral of the story, watch for that. Aside from all that fun stuff, there hasn't been any new ratings, no articles really coming out about it. So it's just a very big speculative assumption and play right now. But aside from that, on the actual chart, still above all the key pivotal moving averages I generally like to look at. So the 200, 50, and 100-day moving averages, it is, as of right now, below that ALMA. So it is showing some signs of consolidation. One level to really watch for, though, is that $11 range, because typically, yes, you do have consolidation, which is good and healthy for a stock bigger picture, but as long as you're making higher highs and higher lows, then you're pretty much still moving in the right direction. So again, just kind of watch for this for the most part. Because of the recent pullback, stochastic RSI has broken away from its overbought status. It is arguably getting close to the oversold status, so complete polar opposite kind of is happening. But as far as on the MACD, you're seeing a bearish kind of deviation start to form. So again, insinuating that you might see some further consolidation. So I think there's a lot of high expectations for tomorrow's catalyst. And I think generally speaking, it should go fairly well, but you never know. There's always random things, or maybe it's just overhyped. So let me know your general thoughts on SoundHound. Are you buying? Are you selling? I myself, I haven't really done anything, as I've openly kind of mentioned to you. If it does get back to that $10 range, that's where I'll be more willing to sell puts on SoundHound. And then that way, if it does break below my strike price that I do select, then I get to buy more. But I feel like around that $10 range is a little bit more advantageous, or better yet, even $9. But right now, it's kind of just stuck in limbo. If it is able to get above that 1330, which it kind of did struggle with yesterday, then essentially you could see a very nice push higher. But on a technical standpoint, I think the market is just, as well as SoundHound, is just waiting for that nice gentle push to really move higher. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing, if you are looking for some solid buy signals, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.